Welcome to Mukesh Manoharan Studio. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon before we proceed. Close your eyes for just a moment. Imagine you're standing alone on a vast, quiet expanse of untouched earth. The early morning mist clings to the ground, and as the sun slowly rises, it doesn't just illuminate dirt and wild grass. It illuminates pure, boundless potential. You are looking at the exact site where you will construct a towering, resilient, and awe-inspiring structure. This is the deeply transformative journey of becoming an AI engineer. It is a profound path that turns a curious learner into a master architect of our technological future. It requires profound patience, an unyielding vision, and a quiet, unwavering commitment to placing one brick upon another, day after day, week after week. Today, we're going to walk through this entire breathtaking landscape together. We will explore the master blueprint that will guide you, step by meticulous step, from a completely blank slate to building intelligent, breathing applications that possess the uncanny ability to understand human nuance, generate stunningly creative solutions, and predict the unknown. This is not just a tutorial. This is the story of your evolution as a creator. Every monumental creation in human history, from the Great Pyramids to the tallest modern skyscrapers, began with a single, fragile vision, meticulously translated into a master blueprint. Our 12-month expedition through the landscape of artificial intelligence breaks down into 5 deeply interconnected structural phases. We begin by pouring the solid foundation, sinking our roots deep into the bedrock of logic and mathematics. From there, we rise into the structural framing of core machine learning, teaching our creations how to learn. Then we ascend to the breathtaking heights of the generative AI frontier, where machines begin to reason and create. Next, we open our doors to the world in the deployment phase, making our creations real and tangible. And finally, we step into the arena of conquering the interview, the ultimate trial, where you prove your mastery to the world. There is a profound, undeniable reason you feel the magnetic pull toward this field right now. Becoming an AI engineer is recognized universally as one of the absolutely strongest, most vital career paths in all of information technology today. This is not merely some fleeting trend or a temporary shift in the corporate winds. It is a fundamental, seismic shift in how human beings interact with technology, with information, and with reality itself. By choosing to dedicate your time, your mental energy, and your burning passion to this specific roadmap, you are validating your highest ambitions. You are boldly choosing to stand at the absolute forefront of a technological renaissance, dedicating your life to building intelligent applications powered by the sheer magic of machine learning, the vast reasoning of large language models, the efficiency of automation, and the boundless scale of the cloud. As we embark on this transformative exploration, if you find value and inspiration in this journey we are taking together, please take a brief moment to subscribe, like, and share this channel with fellow builders. Your support allows us to continue charting these incredible maps of the future. When we stand at the starting line and look at the sheer, overwhelming mountain of knowledge ahead of us, it is incredibly easy to feel a sense of vertigo. But time is the greatest, most powerful tool in the architect's belt. Time, when applied with fierce consistency, moves mountains. Over the span of just 12 focused months, the impossible slowly becomes the inevitable. You dedicate the first 4 months simply and quietly to the foundation. You do not rush. The next 4 months are devoted to the intricate core mechanics of machine learning and the deep biological mimicry of deep learning. Months 9 and 10 are reserved exclusively for the absolute bleeding-edge frontier of generative AI. And those final 2 months? They are your launchpad, the moment your creation takes flight into the real world. We step now into our first era, the solid foundation, spanning months 1 to 4. Think of this as the quiet, unseen work of digging deep into the earth. You simply cannot construct a brilliant, highly intelligent application on a shaky, fragile foundation. If the roots are weak, the tree will fall in the first storm. Before we can even dream of teaching machines to think, to reason, or to speak, we must first master the strict, beautiful language of logic ourselves. We must learn how to speak to the machine in its native tongue. In this phase, one tool commands the absolute highest priority: Python. This is the universal language of the modern AI architect. It is elegant, leadable, and infinitely powerful. You must deeply immerse yourself in its flowing rivers of logic, understanding variables, mastering loops, encapsulating concepts into reusable functions, and grasping the profound structural beauty of object-oriented programming. But language alone is not enough. Alongside Python, you must dig into the ancient, deep roots of computer science. You must understand how to store information efficiently using data structures like trees and hash maps. You must feel the vital, ticking pulse of big O time complexity, understanding how your code behaves as time stretches toward infinity. And you absolutely cannot overlook SQL. SQL is the subterranean plumbing of your city, and data is the water that flows through it. You will forge these critical, foundational skills in the quiet, rigorous fires of practice platforms like LeetCode, HackerRank, and CodeWars, treating them as the training grounds for your mind. As we transition deeper into this foundational phase, a shadow often looms over the aspiring engineer, the towering, intimidating monolith of advanced mathematics. But here is the most liberating truth you will hear on this journey. You do not need a PhD to walk this path. Let me say that again. You do not need a doctorate in theoretical physics to build the future. You are an engineer, an architect, a builder of practical things. You merely need a solid, intuitive grasp of specific mathematical tools. You need linear algebra to understand the geometry of thought, to see how massive blocks of data move and transform through space. You need probability and statistics to understand the inherent uncertainty of the universe, allowing your machine to make highly educated guesses. And you need just enough basic calculus to comprehend the gentle slopes of gradients, understanding how a model learns from its mistakes and slowly optimizes itself toward perfection. And as we continue to demystify these incredibly complex systems together, I want to gently remind you once more to subscribe and press that bell icon, ensuring you never miss a single step in our ongoing, deeply emotional journey of technological discovery. We now emerge from the underground into our second era, core machine learning, spanning months 5 through 8. The foundation has set, hard as stone. Now the heavy timber is raised. This is the structural framing of our great house. Here, a profound philosophical shift occurs within you. We transition from writing explicit line-by-line instructions for a computer to doing something much more magical. We begin teaching the machine how to find hidden, indivisible patterns in the chaotic noise of the world all on its own. Your architectural tool belt is about to expand massively. You will start by holding the machine's hand, guiding it gently with supervised learning algorithms like linear regression and support vector machines. You will use foundational libraries like scikit-learn to teach the model how to predict future outcomes based on the deeply worn grooves of past data. Once it understands this, you will let it wander into the dark on its own through unsupervised learning. Using techniques like k-means clustering, the machine will sift through vast mountains of chaotic, unlabeled data, finding beautiful, hidden structures and organizing the chaos into meaning. And finally, you will dive into the incredibly deep, dark waters of deep learning. Here, you will construct artificial neural networks that mimic the very synapses of the human brain. You will build convolutional neural networks that grant the gift of sight, recurrent networks that grant the gift of memory, and the mighty, world-changing transformers. You will sculpt these complex minds using immensely powerful frameworks like PyTorch and TensorFlow. But listen closely. Knowledge that resides only in your mind without ever manifesting into physical reality is like a beautiful blueprint that never leaves the desk. It is a ghost. You must build real things, and you must begin building them early in your journey. To truly solidify this complex deep learning architecture deep within your own neural pathways, you must aggressively challenge yourself with real-world, tangible portfolio projects. Imagine the profound thrill of crafting an image classification system from scratch, literally breathing the gift of sight into your machine so it can look at the world and understand what it sees. Imagine building a sentiment analysis tool, a quiet, empathetic engine that can read the subtle, hidden emotions layered within human text. Or engineering an optical character recognition system that scans physical, aging documents and extracts pure meaning from the ink. Or a flawless face detection system. By bringing these specific, challenging ideas to life, you do not just learn the theory, you prove your absolute mastery over the machine. We now leave the familiar territory behind and step into the third era, the generative AI frontier, occupying months 9 and 10. The air gets noticeably thinner here. The concepts become more abstract, more powerful, more dangerous, and more beautiful. This is arguably the most fiercely demanded, highly compensated, and rapidly evolving stage of the entire roadmap. This is where you learn to harness the absolute bleeding edge of human innovation. If the sheer, limitless potential of this frontier excites your imagination and stirs your ambition, please remember to organically like this video and share it with those who also dream of shaping the unknown tomorrow. In this realm, you are no longer just training models to predict numbers or categorize images, you are orchestrating raw intelligence. In this deeply crucial stage, you will master the beating heart of the modern revolution, large language models. You will learn to speak the incredibly nuanced psychological language of prompt engineering, gently and forcefully guiding massive foundational models like GPT, Gemini, and Claude to generate breathtakingly articulate text, flawlessly structured code, and intricate multi-step logic. You will learn how to build autonomous, thinking AI agents using immensely powerful orchestration frameworks like LangChain, allowing your creations to chain thoughts together, use tools, and solve problems independently. And perhaps most magically, you will discover the concept of embeddings. You will learn how to mathematically convert the entire breadth of human knowledge, paragraphs, books, whole libraries, into arrays of numbers, into Starlight, storing them perfectly in highly specialized vector databases like PhySci and Pinecone. Within this frontier, one specific, elegant architecture has emerged as an absolute, undeniable game changer. It is called RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. To truly understand its power, imagine a brilliant, timeless scholar. This scholar has read every single book ever written in human history up until a certain year, but they are entirely blind to the events of today. They know nothing of your company's private documents, your real-time data, or the shifting tides of the current minute. RAG is the extraordinary system that hands that brilliant scholar a real-time, highly secure, deeply integrated library card to your private, up-to-the-second databases. It seamlessly enhances the large language model's vast but frozen, generalized knowledge with dynamic, highly specific, factual context. It almost entirely eliminates the dangerous hallucination of false facts, grounding the AI in absolute truth. Deeply understanding, architecting, and building RAG pipelines from scratch is a massive, incredibly highly sought-after standout skill. It is a superpower that will make your resume undeniably magnetic to the most elite, top-tier employers in the world. As our year draws to its closing act, we enter the fourth era, deployment and real-world projects, months 11 and 12. You have built a brilliant thinking machine in the dark laboratory of your local computer. But a brilliant AI model is completely useless to humanity if you do not know how to bring it out into the light, how to deploy it safely and efficiently into the chaotic, beautiful, real world. It is time, at long last, to open the doors to your great cathedral. This is the grand, triumphant opening of your architectural build, the deployment stack. The world needs to speak to your model, so you must wrap your brilliant intelligence in highly robust, lightning-fast APIs, using frameworks like FastAPI or Flask. These are the gates to your city. You must learn to carefully containerize your delicate creations, shipping them safely across the turbulent seas of the internet inside protective Docker containers. You must learn to manage their massive, global scale, orchestrating vast fleets of these containers using the power of Kubernetes. You will meticulously track every single alteration, every stroke of genius, through the historical ledgers of Git and GitHub. You will automate the perilous journey from raw code on your laptop to a live production server using the relentless efficiency of continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines. And finally, you will launch your creation into the infinite sky, hosting it on the vast echoing infrastructure of cloud providers like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. As we prepare to launch these majestic creations into the cloud, I invite you once more to subscribe and gently ring that bell icon, ensuring you stay closely connected with the heartbeat of our studio. To truly, undeniably prove to the world that your mathematical foundation is completely solid, that your machine learning framing is structurally sound, and that your deployment strategy is flawlessly executed, you must curate a portfolio that speaks volumes louder than any formatted piece of paper ever could. You need highly standout, incredibly tangible projects hosted cleanly on GitHub and actively, aggressively deployed live on the web for anyone to interact with. Imagine the quiet power of sitting across a polished table from a skeptical employer and calmly handing them a link to a flawlessly working AI voice assistant that you architected from the ground up. Or demonstrating a sophisticated lightning-fast document search platform powered by the very RAG systems we just explored. Or presenting a fully autonomous, empathetic customer support bot or an intelligent, highly accurate AI-driven resume analyzer. These are not just projects. These are the undeniable, physical proofs of your elite craftsmanship. And now we arrive at the final threshold. Phase 5, conquering the interview. You have built the knowledge, you have constructed the systems, but now you must pass through the final intense evaluations. You must run the gauntlet to claim the rightful title of AI engineer. The technical rounds of these interviews will test the absolute true depth of your foundation. They are not looking for rote memorization, they are looking for deep philosophical understanding. You will face common, high-stakes interview showdowns that demand a crystal clear comprehension of the painful trade-offs inherent in all machine learning. They will ask you to elegantly, calmly explain the delicate, agonizing balance of bias versus variance, the eternal struggle between a model that oversimplifies the world in its ignorance and a model that overthinks the noise, losing the signal in its complexity. They will challenge you to define exactly when, in a life or death scenario, you must prioritize the absolute certainty of precision over the wide, sweeping net of recall. But the gauntlet won't stop at the basics. They will plunge you back into the deep waters, asking you to compare the visual processing of convolutional networks against the attention mechanisms of transformers, or testing your strategic understanding of when to use the incredibly costly process of fine-tuning a model versus the clever, lightweight agility of prompt engineering. You must be prepared to articulate these massive concepts with a calm, unshakable confidence. For those aiming their sights at senior, experienced roles, the technical trial evolves into something far more expansive and terrifying. You will not just be asked to write a single, clever algorithmic function on a computer. You'll be handed a dry erase marker, pointed toward a massive blank whiteboard, and asked to design entire, breathing technological ecosystems from scratch. How do you architect a highly scalable AI chatbot that can handle millions of frantic users during a global event without buckling? How do you design an invisible, deeply intuitive recommendation system that instantly suggests the perfect product to a user halfway across the world? How do you build a real-time inference system that is so robust it never, ever crashes? This connects perfectly, beautifully back to our core architectural blueprint metaphor. You are no longer laying single bricks in the dirt. You are hovering above the map, planning the entire sprawling city grid. As we conquer these final, immense architectural challenges together, please take a brief moment to like and share this deep exploration of the craft. Yet amidst all the brutal technical rigor, the complex mathematics, and the sprawling system designs, you must never ever neglect the warm, beating human elements. The HR or behavioral interview is the exact place where many brilliant, technically flawless coders tragically stumble. You must be ready to tell the emotional story of your journey. Why AI? What stirs your soul about this technology? What was the most agonizing, tear-inducing technical challenge you faced? And how did you overcome it in the dark hours of the night? To master this, you must learn to frame every single impact you've made using the highly effective STAR method. You vividly describe the situation you faced, the incredibly heavy task required of you, the exact, decisive action you took, and finally, the measurable, undeniable result you achieved for the business. You must be deeply prepared to discuss every project in granular detail, always speaking highly and positively of your past struggles, and constantly articulating a clear, piercing vision of exactly where you are going. And as you slowly grow and mature in this phenomenal, world-altering career, you will come to a profound realization. The journey of a true architect never truly ends. The skyline is always changing. Many of the most elite engineers strategically jump from one company to another every 2 to 3 years. They're constantly seeking broader landscapes, vastly better compensation, and fresh, impossibly intricate challenges to solve. The progression for this upward trajectory is precise and relentless. You must continuously build strong, increasingly complex hands-on projects long after you've secured the job. You must keep your GitHub vibrantly active, a living testament to your ongoing curiosity. You must weave a tight, warm network of relationships with recruiters and fellow engineers, remembering that human connection is the ultimate network. And in every single room you enter, for the rest of your career, you must boldly highlight the measurable, undeniable impact you have brought into the world. We have traversed the entire, vast, beautiful landscape together today. We have walked from the deep, foundational bedrock of Python and logic, up through the heavy structural framing of core machine learning. We climbed into the breathtaking, dizzying heights of the generative AI frontier, where language and thought become mathematics. We opened our doors to the real world of deployment, and we stood strong through the intense gauntlet of the final interviews. The map is now fully in your hands. The path is completely clear, laid out step by step over 12 incredibly transformative months. The blueprint is drawn. The only thing left in this story is the execution. The choice is yours. You have the blueprint. Are you ready to build the future? Thank you so deeply from the bottom of my heart for staying through this entire journey and walking this extraordinary, emotional path with me today. Stay deeply inspired, keep building with passion, and I will see you in our next exploration.